Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial by Team Slides4. In this part, you are seeing how to create a CPU performance analysis dashboard. We can see we have average of MYCT, PRP, etc. All these terms might not be clear to you. So the definition for these terms are given here. For example, PRP, ERP, cache memory, machine cycle time, etc. These are the term names which I will explain to you one by one. You will see top 5 vendors by average performance, published performance versus estimated performance, average of PRP, ERP, and maximum memory by model name, average PRP and ERP by vendor name. You also get filters here which you can apply. For example, if you want to see for any particular vendor like IBM or HP, you will see their performance. So we will be able to analyze all of this. We will be able to see how to create a dashboard like this in this tutorial, and you will be able to learn more about other dashboard ideas as well. So let's get it started. So the data set that we are going to use in this project looks like this, where you can see the vendor name, model name, MYCT, MIN. So these different type of numerical parameters are given, and this is machine data. This dataset has been downloaded from UCI, Machine Learning Repository, and it's called computer hardware data. So it's a relative CPU performance data described in terms of its cycle time, memory size, etc. So here, for different computer hardware, in order to judge their CPU performance, the dataset is given, and here name of every variable or every feature and its description is given. Vendor name is the obviously the name of vendor creating that particular hardware, and model name of that hardware. Then MYCT is machine cycle time, MIN is minimum main memory, maximum main memory, cache memory of hardware, minimum channel, maximum channel. ERP is published relative performance, and ERP is estimated relative performance from the original article that was given. So the estimated relative performance values were estimated by the authors using a linear regression model, and you can see the article etc. here. So this is a simple data set, and we are going to use this data set for analysis and learning different things. So let's get started with it. To start analyzing the data, we will simply create or read it in Power BI, and from here we will get data and connect text CSV. After connecting the text CSV, make sure that the vendor name, model name, MYCT, machine cycle time, etc. are being loaded properly, and simply click load. If you are seeing some difference here, so you will be able to change that. One more thing, when you will download the data set from here, so it will give you files like this: machine.data, machine.names. So for example, if you edit them in Notepad, you will see it like this. What you have to do is it will not have the names here, so it will be like this. And what you have to do, you have to copy the names one by one and put it on top of it, so that it becomes a CSV file. Then save it as CSV. To save your time, I will provide you this CSV file as a link so that you can directly load it in your favorite BI tool. Now you can see it is being read properly, and we can load it. Now, in order to show what we are doing, we can add some images here in our report. So we can go to Insert tab and insert some images here. So I have added just these two images that I downloaded from Canva, and then I will insert a text box mentioning what this report is all about. So here you can see these guidelines will help you in defining your height and width. and this is CPU performance analysis or computer hardware performance analysis. After typing your text, you can make it bold, select a size, let's say 28, or since we have space here, you can choose 36. You can hit enter. So let me adjust it with height, etc. After writing your title, etc., you can see the format option here. From here, effects, you can enable some shadow here so that you have defined your headline. And this is something that you can keep it over here. Then go to format and say send to back. So this way you can arrange your layers. First of all, we can make it full width also. I'm just spending some time to explain this stuff so that this arrangement, layering, etc. are clear to you. So for example, like this, obviously these images, everything what you are seeing here are optional. In my case, the images are transparent, so you can use some service like remove bg, or if you have Canva Premium, you can remove the backgrounds, so it will give you effect like this. Now we are going to create our dashboard. Whenever we are preparing dashboard, we start with some KPIs, which are basically key performance indicators, which are cards. So let's say we have one card here, and here in one card we are going to see average MYCT, which is the average machine cycle time. Okay, so in order to see average MYCT, we will simply create a card here and drag it here and just use average. So since we have to use all these parameters like 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 of them are there, and we have to use them as KPIs. So even if we have done the average, we have to reduce their size. So let's say we are going to use the call out value of 32, let's say like this, right? And it will show average of MYCT. This thing here is coming from the category label. So we can make the category label bold and choose a different type of color for our analysis. So let's say we want to choose any theme of green. If you will go to view, here also you will see different color palettes. So for example, something, because the image that we have selected is green image, so we can select this as well. And now we will, when we'll go to colors, we will see that particular palette here, right? So it will be easier for us to choose these colors. So we can make it bold, and here also in category label we can select a color that is from the theme. So let's say blue, and this we are choosing. Now here there is one more thing. We can go to effects and select a visual border. Let's select a very light border. So this way your border will be selected and you can enable a simple shadow for it. Okay. Now we will make some copies of it in order to show performance of different parameters. So you can see in case of MYCT, there is a machine cycle time. Uh, it is 203.82 that we can see from this, right? So this is machine cycle time, and you can see we have low values like 29 also and high values also. So that is showing us the average time, and this kind of indicates performance in a better way. You can select all of them and move a little towards top, and now we will drag other things like average PRP. Okay, so we will simply select average of PRP, average cache memory. Okay, so when you drag these things, by default Power BI gives you sum. You can select 25.21 is average cache memory, and these are very old processors. And remember, this cache memory is given in kilobytes KB, right? If you will simply search, the average cache memory of processors now is around 12 to 16 MB. Okay, so we have cache, and then we can use mmin and mmax memory. Here we are going to use average. Let's create one more copy, and it is going to be average of mmax. Since ERP and PRP are the published relative performance and estimated performance, so we are going to put PRP, published and estimated relative performance, side by side. So here, instead of cache, we will use ERP. So in data sets like this, these are kind of our target features and variables. So like, what is average versus average of PRP versus average of ERP, etc. We'll see later. Let's say we want to expand, them to cards. Just giving one example. Let's say, obviously this is smaller, but let's say this. So let's say we can increase its size. So it will go behind it, right? We can select the image, and in formatting we can bring forward. So we have to do it once more, bring in front. So this way you can add your reports over them, kind of gives you a better look. Now we have the KPIs ready. So here we have put together some dashboard ideas. So first thing that we can do is display the KPI cards that we have done. Then we have done the scatter plot, and I will share a link to this article where you can get the link to original data source from UCI, and the machine data CSV file that we have used, you can get it from here. Now for scatter plot, we can show the relationship between PRP and ERP to compare actual versus estimated performance. So whenever we have to analyze two different numerical values, so we can use a scatter plot for that. And we will simply create a scatter plot here, make its width twice the width of our KPI, and increase the height to half of our chart height here. And here we are going to include, on x-axis we can include published performance, and on y-axis we can include estimated performance. And here Power BI will automatically show sum because it's a numerical value. We'll say don't summarize, and here also we will say don't summarize. So you can see the scatter plot between PRP and ERP is fairly linear, and that means they are like very close to each other, right? When we increase PRP, there is increase in ERP, and the line is also in middle. So you can also go to this particular tab here, which is add further analysis to your visual. You can enable a trend line, and we can use a different color for our trend line so that we can see the trend line color as well. Let's use green color. And here in title we can optimize the title a little bit. So this is not PRP and ERP, let's say PRP versus ERP. Okay, we will make it bold, align it to center, and the font color, text color that we are going to use is PRP versus ERP, and we will use format painter to give them shadow. Sometimes this messes up with the heading, so it's better that you do it first, then copy the formatting. So now we have the shadow, and this is PRP versus ERP for that number of records that we have, which is around 209 records. So on our channel itself, we created a video where we explain how to apply different DAX formulas and create trend line, and on the trend line find out the slope and intercept values. Okay, and I explained the DAX queries to calculate that, the slope, etc. So additionally, if you want to show the slope, if you want to show the intercept value of this line, right? Like where is it going to touch the y-axis? So you can go through this particular tutorial which I have added here, and this will help you in calculating a lot of things and putting more details to your data. Okay, whenever you create a scatter plot and apply this linear regression there, so how to do that, I will provide a link to that. In this part we will keep it simple. We are just creating the dashboard here. Now we have created the scatter plot, and next thing that we can create is a bar chart to compare PRP across different vendors to identify high performing brands. Okay, obviously whatever we are doing here, sorry for that, whatever we are doing here, like published relative performance we are trying to analyze, and for different brands is as per this particular data set. So in order to do that, first we will simply copy it. A lot of styling will be copied. uh, we'll align its width to 2 times the width of our KPIs that are given above. And here, first of all, we are simply going to change it to stack column chart, and we are going to get rid of these things first. Now in x-axis we have the categorical value, either model name or vendor name can be selected. So we are selecting the vendor name, and on y-axis we can bring some measure of PRP. The measure can be average value, sum, minimum, maximum, whatever you want to do. So since we are doing average here, so we will use average values. And by average value you can see for different brands like AMD AHL has 416 performance, Sperry has 254.92, Advisor has 198, and so on. So if you see published relative performance, then on an average all the processors, all the hardware that we have in this data set, AMD AHL has the highest average of PRP. When you are dealing with data set like this, you can always print top 10, top 5, these kind of things, right? Let's say you want to print top 5 vendors by average PRP. So you will go here, and instead of basic filtering you will go to N, because we are in filters. We will print top 5, and in by value we will drag PRP and select average and apply. So it will show us top 5 vendors by average PRP, and that's what we can select the title. So top 5 vendors by average PRP. Okay, let me take, right, average is capital A, space is so narrow here. And one more thing we can do here is we can enable the data labels to see the average value also. And I have explained this in previous examples also. Here the column color is as per our theme. So for example, if you want to select a different color, you can select, okay. And if you want to select different color for different parameters that we have, for example, for AMDHL we'll select this color. For Sperry, let's say we want to select this color. For Advisor, we want to select a different color. So this is something that you can do, okay. And I have also explained how to select a gradient color scheme in our other videos. So if you want to select gradient color scheme, that is something that you can see in other videos as well. And finally for NAS, because there are 5, so I am selecting them manually here. If there are more, then you can go with the gradient color scheme. These are top 5 vendors by average ERP value, where we can see AMDHL is on top. Now, as we have done PRP versus ERP, it is not just we can compare you know estimated performance versus published performance, we can also select these different parameters. For example, how the cache memory is going to affect the published performance. Okay, so here for example on x-axis, first of all we'll remove it, and on x-axis we are going to keep PRP unsummarized way. Okay, don't summarize. And on x-axis we are going to keep the cache memory and they don't summarize. So what this is showing, the effect of cache memory. So this is simple cache versus PRP, and we can see some linear trend there, like somewhat it is letting us know that in cache memory will be more in a processor, then its performance is likely to improve. And here, just for variety, we can go to marks here, and in marks there are different type of things you can do. For example, you can select a different shape. Okay, you have series here, and here you have color, so you can also select a different color. When we are selecting this color, we can invert the trend line color with something like dark blue color, so just to give a variety. And this is showing cache versus ARP. So you can consider one variable as your output variable. Let's say the estimated performance is our output variable. So, and we are trying to see effect of different other values on it. Now, since we have this space available here, we can use it for filters. To create filter, we can use a slicer here. So let's introduce a slicer, and we will keep its width like this. So in slicer, you can add a field that is categorical. If you will add a categorical field, the best way to show as a filter will be showing it as a drop down, and otherwise if it is a numerical field you can show it as a slider. So for example, here we are going to select the vendor name. Okay, you will see all the vendor names here. Since there are many vendor names, showing all of them will be very difficult, so we can go to slicer setting and we can say show a drop down list. In drop down list, we will go to values and increase the values a little bit so that we can see the values here. And there is one more setting you can do. In your slicer setting options selection, you can enable select all. This way this select all button will be there. Now let's say we want to see for this processor only, so you will be able to see its performance, like how for this particular processor uh, you know the PRP versus ERP is behaving and cache memory versus ERP is behaving. You can see fairly linear there for Apollo, for BASF, for BTI. Not necessarily you will see for every one of them because of number of less number of values. So, but here you can see different parameters. And now let's select all, and this is showing uh, as the data. Here also, because we have some space, we can go to general tab, properties, position or padding, and increase some top padding here. Now here in our header, we can select a color from our palette, make it bold. Similarly, for values that we have selected here, we can select a color and make it bold. Okay. In general, we can go to effect and we can enable a shadow here to show it in a 3D kind of way. And we can copy the filter by pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V, or Command C and Command V if you are using Mac or any other OS. And here we are going to drag the model name. Okay, so now let's say you want to see performance for a particular model, let's say 100 or this, or multiple models you can select. For in some model you can see we have an inverse trend also. So that's how you can select and see the performance. Obviously when you will select multiple of them, then you will be able to see in a better way, because for single data it will be very difficult to see the combined performance. Now Obviously, this was performance analysis. You can also do a vendor benchmarking dashboard, or if you have space, you can include them. For example, I showed you how to rank vendors based on average PRP. Okay, you can also create a box plot showing the distribution of PRP per vendor, or a tree map to visualize the count of models per vendor to see which vendor dominates the data set. So in order to do that, let's say we have a tree map here. Okay, first of all, we'll copy some formatting from here so that when we create the chart, it will be better. In category, you always drag a categorical field that is going to be the vendor name here. And here we have details and values. So in values, we can put count of different models. Okay. So let's say we drag model name here, and here we have the count of model name. And you can see as per count of model name, 32 is IBM, 19 is NAS, Honeywell, etc. And you can always, let's say we want to show these details, so we can go to data labels and enable it. So this way you can show a tree map showing count of model name by vendor name. And this is, when you will zoom it, you will be able to see all the values. So in a tree map, you can see it is appearing like a tree. It goes like this row, then here they are counting like this, and then going like this. So it's like a tree based on count. Not necessarily we have to select, uh, let's say we have the count of model name, but we can also select average PRP, average ERP, etc. Anything. For example, we can also select average PRP here. Okay, so that way you will show the same distribution that you were seeing here in a tree map also. So this will be average of PRP by vendor name. And we can also include other values in details. For example, we can also include ERP in details. Okay, so if you will add that, you will see it is going to show data like that. We also have tooltip. Suppose we don't want to create any more detail in the map, but when you will go, you will see it on the tooltip. Next, that something that we can learn is how to create a clustered column chart. Because if you have multiple metrics, and let's say you want to show all metrics together, okay, so let's choose this particular width and this particular height, and we will simply format the painter like this. Here we are going to choose the model name on x-axis because we have many models. Okay, and on y-axis, one by one, we can choose our different parameters like MYCT, PRP, etc. So for example, let's choose PRP. Okay, we will choose average of PRP here. So by different model name, we will be able to choose that. Let's say if we want to see for a particular vendor only. So now for this vendor only, you will see all the models that they have and average PRP by different models. Now since it is a clustered column chart, okay, what we can do, we can also include ERP. Yeah, okay. So this is average of PRP, and we will also include average of ERP. So side by side, you will see comparison between estimated and published performance. Okay, and you can see for which it is almost equal, for which model it is almost equal, for which model the PRP is more than ERP, etc. So you will be able to see those performances. And we will just, since it's a clustered column, we will say we want to bring line and clustered column chart. Okay, line and clustered here. So when you will bring line and clustered column chart or line and stack column chart, so you can use them. And here we have option to add one line axis. So simple thing is, PRP and ERP both have the same units. That's why we have kept them as clusters. And here we can add a line. Let's say we want to see the CH max. Okay. CH max, which is maximum number of channels. Okay. So if we drag it to line axis, the CH max, so you will see a line here. Okay. A separate line showing CH max. We can bring other channels also. For example, we can bring cache memory here. Okay. Or we can bring mmax. Whatever you want to bring here, you can drag that particular third parameter, and we can also make it a dynamic measure. So we also have video for that. So if that is your requirement, you can do that also. And here we'll go, and in lines we will simply go to colors and choose a color that we can see more clearly. Let's say we are going to select this color, so which is visible more clearly. And in data labels, we will switch them off, or if we are turning them on, so here you can see we have different values. Okay. And in position line, we will simply show it above. So now you can see it is properly visible. This is average of PRP, ERP, and sum of M max. So instead of sum, we can use average here also. So average PRP, ERP, and M max by model name. Okay. So this is something that you can do, and for every vendor you can choose differently. For example, let's say we select IBM here, so you can see performance for IBM, for HP. Okay, so this is something that you can do here. And now this is our simple report, simple dashboard showing CPU performance, and we have some other ideas here as well, which I will share with you. So you can show memory and cache impact, system configuration versus performance. You can also try to create those type of dashboards. So this is simple analysis. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe to our channel and please hit like button so that we will understand that this type of videos are something that students are liking. If you have any suggestion, please comment them in the comment section. Thanks for watching once again. Have a nice day.